Welcome to Introduction to Business 121 online offered by College of Lake County. My name is Dr. George Mochocki. This week we have three interesting chapters. We're covering three chapters. We'll be covering Chapter 9, which is Operations Management, Chapter 10, which is Motivation, and Chapter 13, which is Marketing. Okay, let's go for a real quick overview. You're doing well in the forums. Most people realize that I upgrade the forum points within the week. So remember, your first forum has to be posted by Tuesday midnight, and then you respond to other people, and you have 3 logins. Each login, I expect at least 3 posts to other students, and then you start communicating back and forth. What you have noticed is that my forums, I will answer some questions. I get involved within the forums. I'm going to take a little back step now. I'm going to see how you help each other out within the forum. This week here, we're going to be talking about the SWOT analysis in the forum, and I've got my SWOT analysis post out there, and we'll see how you will communicate and help each other as you would in a virtual office. So you're doing good. Make sure you do the Connect. Some of you are lagging on the Connect. There's no way you're going to get a good grade out of this course unless you complete the Connects. The Connects to Learn Smart, they're all interactive homework assignments to make it easier for you. This week on the homework assignment, you will have 2 chapters, chapters 10 and 13, that you'll be doing the Connect assignments, and that's worth 30 points, and only 1 quiz on chapter 9, which is Operations Management, which you'll have 10 questions. But each question is worth 20 points. I don't want to overtax you and over-test you and over-software you, for lack of a better word, so you do well in that. Okay, so make sure you do those connects, you do the forms, and you should be doing well. Most of you, if you look at your overall grades, you're running a B and an A. You should end up with a B or an A out of this class. If you're not doing the connect, you're not being an active forum participant, then you most likely aren't in the B's and the A's. You're in the C's and the D's. Okay, so let's look what we have going forward. So forums, connects, quizzes, and you're on for the next week. Okay, so this week we're going to be covering 3 chapters. Let me go through the chapters real quickly, give you a quick introduction, and I'm going to try to keep this under 15 minutes. So the first chapter, we're going to make sure you utilize the PowerPoints that I've provided in Blackboard, and also the conceptual maps. This conceptual maps that we have on this time, let's see, here it is, on chapter 9. If you look at the conceptual map in chapter 9 and the PowerPoints, you should have a real good idea when you go into the quiz. For this chapter, we're going to be looking at production. Now, if I look at this chapter, operations management or production, it usually pertains more to manufacturing, if you want to look at it from that point. But I'm a business person. What I utilize in manufacturing, I could utilize the same process, the same model in a service. Instead of looking at an assembly line that goes one way, continuous line, the customer, input output, I look at processes. So most of us are going to be in a service-oriented type of a business. So I look at the process. Same thing you're learning here. I look at how long it takes me to complete a process, no longer how long it takes me to complete a manufacturing line. It's the same information and the same thinking, only instead of assembly line, I'm looking at people calling, taking care of the customer, or responding to the customer, sending something out, and or doing a task for the customer, and completing the whole task, just like I would do in manufacturing. So you're looking at production or services as creating goods or services, production management or service manager or process manager, what looks at the whole process of an organization. It makes sense that it's like an assembly line, that when a customer calls in, everything goes smoothly, so it's all transparent to the individual customer, whether it's, or you may be making your business maybe an assembly line process, so this will work perfectly. I just want to make sure that this chapter works for either manufacturing or service-oriented business ventures. Okay, so then you're looking at, they looked at the technology, AutoCAD, you're looking at computerized management system to help the management, the process. If you look at anything else now, most of your process manufacturing is set up where it's customized. And customization is like if I'm going to order a laptop. I want a laptop, you get a basic laptop, and this goes through the process line. But you selected you wanted a larger, instead of 16 gigabytes, you wanted 32 gigabytes. And because of the process of technology, it puts when your order runs in, instead of just giving you 16 gigabytes, it gives you 32 gigabytes. Instead of a white casing, it gives you a black casing. increasing. So because of technology and software and everything else that the manufacturing can do now, we become more customized to the individual, but still on a mass production system. Okay, you're looking at the facility layout. How does the facility layout? The same concept as if I'm looking for a service. How do I lay out my restaurant, my service provider, if I'm doing a massage or if I'm doing a salon, how's the business laid out? What makes sense for when a customer comes in, or from a retail business when you walk into a Walmart, why do they have all the what do you call it, pharmaceutical in the middle, and they have all the technology and the computers, everything in the middle, because that's where most people have to go pass through, and that's where most of the people come to this to Walmart. That's probably one of the more generating high volume generating areas within the whole store. So it all leads to that one point. Okay, look at PERC information. Look at ISO 9000 Industrial Standards Organization, and most companies now, even colleges, if you're doing in a global world, you have to be ISO approved. ISO approval means that you have a system or process that creates and motivates and instills quality, high quality in the final product, whether it's a manufacturing, a tangible good, or whether it's a service. So that takes care of chapter 9. Okay, so we're done with that. You only have one quiz on chapter 9, no connect on chapter 9. And the next two chapters, chapter 10 and chapter 13, is one's on motivation and then one's on marketing. If you notice, chapter 11, which is HR, and chapter 12, which is labor relation, was not included in this chapter from this book. And the rationale for this was we try to reduce the cost of the book, so they had to eliminate something. Remember, in business, if I take away something, I want something less expensive. That means I've taken away some material to offset that. Which material was taken away? And in this case, the two chapters, chapters 11 and chapter 12, were eliminated. You could always take HR, what do you call it, a chapter, or labor relations. So that's why your book does not have that, but your cost is less. Okay, so listen now. When I look at chapter 10, motivation, and chapter 13, what do you learn in chapter 10, motivation, with Maslow, the hierarchy, and everything else, and rewards and equity, and what do you call it, reinforcement theories? All those, same thing in this motivational chapter, transpires to your marketing chapter. You're going to find out Maslow again. In the motivation chapter here, you're going to see social belonging, and then the marketing thing is peer pressure. In the motivation chapter, you're going to look at security, which would be union or being unemployed. In the marketing chapter, it's still security. Somebody got robbed, somebody got hurt, or something else, and now you'll see a big campaign going, hey, do you feel safe in your neighborhood? AD&T security system will, there's a crime committed, and we will make you feel safer. So you're looking at the same thing with Maslow, the hierarchies, or what do you call it, Herzberg in job contents. Same concept of motivation is now, how do I motivate an employee? Now I turn around, how do I motivate people to buy my product? Okay, so we look at motivation, scientific model. Make sure you know about Taylor, and you're going to talk about the Hawthorne effect. Read about the Hawthorne effect. The reason the Hawthorne effect is such a pivotal importance is before that, we thought all people were just on piecework. What do you call it? I pay them more, and it's all I have to do. I water and feed them. But when they did the Hawthorne effect with the lighting at the Hawthorne electrical plant in Chicago, they found out that people wanted more than just pay. If I involved them in them, if I talked to them, if they became part of the problem solutions, the problem, the input, if they have their input into how I run my process, that motivates them more than just to pay. To pay is a limited motivation by Herzberg, which says it's just a job content. I pay you and reward you. How long does your raise last? It won't last you for the whole year. It's basically all the little pat on the back, how you doing, George, and rewards, and all these minor minimal rewards. It's not all tied up with pay, but just recognition and letting that person have some input, giving them empowerment, all that. That job content is what really motivates people that love the job and go above and beyond that what's required. Okay, so you have Maslow, Herzberg, look at McGregory, talk about theory Y, theory X, look at goal setting, management by objectives. That's usually done for, if I look at goal setting management by objectives, you see that with teamwork, or you see that in management. When I see management as my staff management, not hourly worker, but salary workers, where we sit down and we have a job appraisal, a job goals for going to future, and you are graded and rewarded how close you come to the outcomes that you and me agreed on at the beginning of the year, and we checked on to make sure that we're going either quarterly or semi-annually or even monthly. Depends how you decide to provide feedback to the employee and how much feedback the employee wants back. But at the year end, you have to meet these goals, or you don't get that meets exceptions or exceeds exceptions and gets that higher rates. Now, how do I recognize good work? Using open communication is important. I can't stress more than the communication. You see the forms. I don't. When you're doing the forms, I want more than just one-line sentences because I want you to be open and communicating with everyone. Look at global employees. You know, they talk about high context and low context. Now, what you have to figure out, how am I going to motivate a low context individual, or how do I motivate a high context cultural individual? Look at different generations. They talk about Generation Y, baby boomers, Generation X, and see what makes them motivate differently. Remember, what you're going to come up with motivation is different cultures are motivated differently. So you may say, I'm going to motivate you by giving you a concert ticket. So, oh, wow, that's great. What concert ticket? I'm a baby boomer. I may like the opera or something more subtle or country and western, or some of the younger generation. Why individuals may want a heavy rock or Lady Gaga or something else. So you have to understand what's going to motivate that person, either by the generation or the culture. So bottom line, all these different motivational techniques are just giving you tools. Each person is unique. As a manager, you have to understand how each person, what triggers each individual. So that's why they look at the tools. Okay, so that takes care of my motivation for employees. Now, the next one you're going to look at is, last one is marketing. Now, marketing is an integrated marketing system. So you're going to come up with a marketing campaign. So you're looking at the product. Marketing has the 4 P's: price, placing, promotion, marketing research. What you're doing right now is you've got an idea, you've got a concept, and part of your feasibility study is who I'm going to market to, who are going to be my customers. I'm doing research. Is there a market to sustain my business or my venture or my expansion of my business? If this project is feasibility project that I'm thinking about, or this new product line that I want to expand, is there a market for it? So you have to define the problem that a customer is going to see. Why would I buy your product? I'm not going to buy your product unless I see a need for it. I'm going to buy, I don't have a date, so I'm going to, or I don't have a wife, so I'm going to go eHarmony because that's going to fill a need that I see that, hey, I should be married by this time. I should have a date. I want to go out, or maybe I don't want to be married. I just want to go out. I just got a divorce and I want to go out and meet people. How do I do that? So there's a need, and now there's a product or a service or a system or a software or an interaction or out there that will basically get me to meet other people. That's something idea. Collecting research data. Remember, you have primary data and secondary. What you're going to be doing before you look at your market, you have to understand your customer base. So how do I collect the data? I look at all secondary data, U.S. government census, chambers of commerce data, and all that information data is first, and I could say, yes, they could afford my Mercedes-Benz where I'm opening up. I'm opening up in Barrington. I'm opening up Lake Forest. If I look at North Chicago, nothing against North Chicago is more of a Navy town, a military town. Mercedes-Benz business would not thrive in there. I'm not saying people wouldn't buy in there. It's just the mix, the customer, the clientele isn't there. So when I look at my research, I say, hey, they're only making on an average maybe 30, 40,000. I'm looking for a Mercedes. I'm looking for an income range of maybe from 150 to 200,000, or maybe in that range that would sustain it. So I'm looking at the Barrington and Lake Forest area. That would make sense for me to open up. Okay, so looking at you're scanning the environment. You're looking at different markets, and different markets could be, who am I marketing to? I'm marketing to younger people. I'm marketing to older people. Marketing to consumers. Your research here, my background is basically on business to business. But to understand business to business, to market to my business customers, I have to understand their customers, which are the ultimate consumer. So I have to know both markets. So I convinced the business person, here's how you can make money, because I understand what your consumers are going to want. And I just so happen to have the product or the service that will enhance your product or your service to basically get consumers or retail customers into your business and make money for you. Okay, so buying decision. Understand how a customer buys, not how you think they buy. Is once you understand who your customers are, younger people, Generation Y people buy a lot differently than the baby boomers. We may be a little more cautious, more conservative. We're watching on pricing. We're looking for certain things. Baby boomer, Generation Y, maybe look at the internet. They're looking more for peer pressure. They're looking more spontaneous. They want something now that makes them look better, feel better, or be more interactive with the world, because they're very social. They're very technologically inclined over maybe some of the baby boomers. Not to say baby boomers ain't technologically inclined, because look at me, I'm teaching this, I'm doing a lot of stuff online, different kind of communication. So overall, but you have more of a hunger for new technology. Okay, so know the difference between business to business, and we should be good. So that's the 3 chapters we'll be covering: marketing, motivation, and operations management, all tie in together. This week you'll have to read chapter 9, 10, 9, 10, and 13. Your connect is only going to be on chapters 10 and 13, worth 30 points. So you'll do well on that. Your quiz, only one quiz worth 20 points, 10 questions, 2 points each on chapters 9. You have one discussion board worth 20 points. It has 2 parts. It's basically you're going to complete the SWOT analysis: strengths, weaknesses, and opportunities for your business. Remember, when you're reading, strengths and weaknesses are within the organization, opportunities and threats are outside the organization. When you're coming up for the SWOT analysis, since the SWOT analysis from a marketing perspective. In business, I do a SWOT analysis for everything I think about. What's the strength of this? What's the weakness of this? What's my opportunities? What's threats if I do this? What happens if I hire this person? What strength does it bring to the organization? What threats does it bring to my operation? What are the opportunities? What are the threats? All those are always thinking. Since we're doing a SWOT analysis in marketing, so think of the strengths of your company or your venture or your business that you're planning on doing your feasibility study, that there is an opportunity to make money or something else. So from a customer's perspective, what are your strengths? Because you're going to take those same strengths that you're looking for in the business, and you're going to try to take those strengths and you're going to incorporate them into a marketing plan. And what you're also going to do with the strength suite, the SWOT analysis, strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats, you're going to look at the weaknesses of 1 or 2 of your competitors, and hopefully your strength will overcome the weakness. Remember, in a business, for me to leave one business to go to another business, and if I'm very happy with this business, what's going to make me move over? You're going to have, I know every businesses will have some kind of weaknesses or shortcoming that I wish they did. And now if your business has everything else this business has, plus it overcomes the shortcoming that I think that I have here, I will at least give your operation a try. So remember, your marketing right now, you're looking at your strengths and weaknesses, the strengths of a business, and how can I incorporate those strengths into a marketing campaign. At the same time, I'm looking at my competitors' weaknesses, and I'm trying to find those weaknesses and put them into my making it my strength. If you look at the elections, any kind of elections that are going on, each candidate's always looking at here's what I will bring in because I'm stronger for this, because my candidate's this where he or she's weak at, and vice versa. Okay, so we'll take it that that's the discussion board. We're 20 points. Make sure you do your first post by Tuesday, and then you have a second forum. And the second forum is a real quick forum. It's just how you doing. Just give me everything. Hey, Dr. M, I'm doing fine. I got this down the path. I understand this. I worked out all the connect. I did everything else. One more thing. If there's any kind of connect issues, I'm not a connect expert. So what happens in Blackboard, I got the connect hotline. Call in that hotline. They'll give you a incident number. They'll help you through it. These are programs to help you with your systems. A lot of times what the connect problems are is nothing wrong with connect. It's just that you have all the safeguards to different northern security. Windows has security, and they'll have to help you fine tune them. If you're doing your Connect or Blackboard from the office. A lot of businesses will not allow, you have enough safeguards with embedded in there that the Connect may not record right or may not stop right. So make sure if it's not working here, try it at another computer or your friend's computer, at the computer at school, or the computer in the library that should be free of a lot of this. Just log in and see if everything else works. So we should doing pretty good. Do the SWOT. So anyway, that the second form is just to say, if you have no questions, say no questions, and you get the easy 5 points. If you have, you're still required to read those. You don't have to respond 3 different times or 3 logins on the minor forms. Okay, so we've got that. You do your connects. You do your 2 forums. It's 25 points. You do your Learn Smart. I mean your Connect homework, and you're going to do your quiz in the forms, and you have your easy. I think what did it come up to? I've got 30, 40, 50. I've got 55 points that you're going to no, 30, 50, 75 points you have this week. So that's a good week. So anyway, welcome to Introduction to Business. We're covering 3 chapters. Chapters 9, this operation. Chapters 10, this motivation. And chapter 13, this marketing. You have 2 forms, a major one that you have to log in 3 times and do the 10 to 12 posts, 3 different logins, and 1 minor, just to let me know. It's like a virtual office cooler. Just, the information. If anyone has any questions or anything that you could help the other students, part of the online experiences that you talk to each other. I'm taking more of a leaning back. I monitor everything else. I see how you work as a team now, and I am your leader or your facilitator, watching how each team member helps. Because this is what's going to make you in the business, not your boss telling you what you do. That's the easy part. The hardest part is how do you communicate with other team members, and how do you help each other team members. And that's how I grade you, not only on your individual work contribution that you're doing, but how do you interact with as a team with other members. All right, so enjoy it. We're halfway through. You're doing pretty good. This is an accelerated class, but there's 15 or 16 in the class. That's usually what I have on my late start classes, so you have a good forum mix, small, easy, manageable one. And I think you guys are doing well on the exams, the quizzes. You got more than enough time. Your Connect homeworks, those ain't doing them. You still get in there, start in the Connect, because those are a lot of good points. You should do very well in this class, and I'll see you in the forum. Again, my name is Dr. George Mochocki. This is Introduction to Business Online, offered by College of Lake County in Grace Lake, Illinois, utilizing Blackboard course management systems and McGraw-Hill Learn Smart and Connect integrative software. Have a nice day. Bye.